This episode of Veterans Minimum is sponsored by Blue Chew. Legends, let's talk about sex. Remember the days you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get those extra confident strokes in the bedroom. Listen up, BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. The best part, it's all done online, so no awkward visits at the doctor's office, no weird conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew wants to help you guys have better sex. We want you to have better strokes. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And listeners of Veterans Minimum, try Blue Chew for free. You use the promo code VM at checkout. Just pay $5 for the shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code VM to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com, promo code VM at checkout to get those better strokes. Now hit the theme music.
Yeah. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby.
I need it.
In hand, just understand my
Pockets that deep.
with nothing to prove. I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got nothing to lose. You see, they told me I'm the one that's gonna benefit. Never been a threat.
Yes, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Veterans Minimum. I'm your host, Nick Dais, at Nick Dais Tenders. You can find me all things Veterans Minimum or at Veterans Minimum. My guest today, to my right, with another fantastic jersey. Have you worn the same jersey twice yet?
Not on this show. No.
That's gang, baby.
No.
Let's go.
But you listen. I probably am about a good 50 jerseys deep before you get to start
The
running.
repeat?
Yeah. The only football season gets a little bit dicier just because I only have so many Redskin jerseys. I have probably 20, 30 Redskin jerseys. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Josh Williams back in the building. The host of the American Fan 365. Check that out. And also a very special guest. This guy, kind of a piece of shit, if I'm being honest, because I've been in Vegas in September of 2022.
Oh, man.
We've only hung out 3 times, which is crazy. But he has inspired my golf game, and he's taught me a lot about the fight game. Layzie The Savage. Mike,
What's up,
in the
man?
building.
I
What's good,
appreciate
bro?
it. It's good to finally be on here. I know it's been long overdue. So, and you're welcome, motherfucker, because I introduced you to your newest addiction now. So,
Yeah.
how is the golf game coming along?
It's good, bro. It's good. I'm enjoying it way more than I ever thought I would in my life.
Really?
Never was a golf guy. I used to think it was corny. I used to think it was lame. I was like, bro, I'm not going to do that. I'm a real athlete. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was what I thought. I didn't know any better.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that's how you felt about golf.
We go out together, and it was supposed to be just a driving range.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing I ever did. I've only done a driving range. Sees me hit a couple. He's like, bro, throwing you out into the wolves. We're going
Let's
right
go.
now. We're going to play 9 holes right now. And I did fairly
We
all
played
right.
more than 9 holes, didn't we? I think we almost didn't. We didn't play 18, did we?
We didn't play 18, but we also fucked up because we went the wrong way on one of them. So then we circled
Go
back
figure.
around.
Go figure. It's
But,
probably my home track, and I still did it. Yeah.
At one point, he was like, bro, you're trying to... We weren't playing for money or anything, but he was like...
Sandbagging.
Yeah, he's like, you're sandbagging me, bro.
You're already playing for money?
No, but he was like, bro, you've played this before. I'm like, Mike, on our friendship, bro, I've never done this shit. He's like, nah, bro, you've played. Because I was doing fairly well. Now, the putting, it's a nightmare. But everything else was...
Yeah, no,
Right.
you had a natural swing. It was fun to play with. Because usually I don't take... If you suck at golf, man, like, I'm not going to take you out on the course because it can be a nightmare. You know, it's like the worst thing ever playing with someone that sucks. Like,
That's fair.
So, yeah, no, I was impressed. And I'm glad you're here sticking with it. Have you been going to the driving range still?
Once a week.
There you go.
Dang,
See, that's
okay.
good.
You've been making
Yeah.
time once a week
But
to the
dude,
driving
I don't
range?
have that much time. I'll find little pockets.
Yeah.
So like I just go by myself.
Yeah.
It's
I mean-
we've been trying to coordinate something for what, like a month and a half now?
Yeah. We had a little group going every Wednesday, and we just ended up being a drinking party at the driving range. No one's working on the game. Everybody's just hammering down beers and having a good time. But that's also what we do on the golf course. So that's part of the fun. I mean, being out there. So yeah, we got to get back out there. The Wind's got a pretty nice golf course.
Wind does, yeah.
I've played it a couple times. It's
Oh, okay.
it's extravagant to say the least.
Yeah.
So
It's also expensive.
it's
even
very,
with the hookup.
very expensive. I gambled
With
here
the
and I
hookup.
was like,
that's why I was like, yeah.
what's up with some
times.
comps? They're like, nah,
Nah, they don't
full
do that.
price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll give you like a $20 discount. They'll be
No,
like,
not
enjoy
even,
it.
bud. Not even.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's dope that
Yeah.
you're playing.
I'm happy to have both of you on this particular episode because we just had a pay-per-view over the weekend, and you especially, man, you've put on a clinic when it comes to the fight game because you've worked with like the who's who, you've been cage side, you've been backstage, just like the nuances of the fight game. You've schooled me all the time. And the one thing, bro, that he told me, and I'm sure you probably get this too because you know a lot of fighters too. Listen, this is the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet. I like the DGen a little bit. You know, we hit a couple parlays over the weekend. Shouts to Jared Gordon. He won his fight, first round knockout. Yeah, his first time fighting in Madison Square Garden in his career, so that was pretty excited. I bet on Jared,
Yeah.
Bet on your friend.
but you pressed me one time.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
don't you ever fucking tell him.
Don't tell him ever.
Don't tell him ever.
Yeah, it's the biggest. They already got enough pressure on them, you know? Now they're like, damn, now I'm going to cost you money. Like, I've been around there's some crazy mentalities in this sport. Like, you know, some are really cool. Like, DC is cooler than a milkshake in a snowstorm. I ain't going to mention some of the other names that I've been, they're intense, like during fight week and stuff. So, like, any added pressure is what you're trying to avoid, you know? Because they feel like they let you down too. And that's just like, you know, it's.
See, and then look, and then my friends, they're all like, and you better bet for me. And I don't like to do it because I don't like putting anything out there. It's already enough on me just seeing my friend fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's hard.
That's already like, that takes on its own feeling, everything. But then adding money on top of it, even if I feel like they're going to win, one, I'm not going to be subjective at all. So that's the other reason why I can't do it, because it's like, no. If I know you, I can do it. But if you're my friend, I don't touch it.
Watching my friends fight alone was hard enough. I used to have to get like hammered and just to like calm down. Like Rhonda, man, when I was working with Rhonda, because we knew the moment she lost, it was going to be the end of the world. Because
really,
I mean, I wouldn't even play Monopoly with Rhonda. You know what I'm saying? Because the board would go flying if I won. You know,
super
like,
competitive.
I mean, but that's what it takes to be the best in the world, like she was. And she had, I mean, when you talk about work ethic, like at their peak, I would say the athletes I saw train the hardest in my life, Nick and Nate Diaz, Ronda Rousey, Floyd Mayweather. I mean, those are just a couple of names that are right there at the top. DC, you know, she trained hard, man, but she burned fast. You know, when you're fighting 3 times a year like she was, and just it's the fight camps that are tough, you know. And so when she would fight, I'm there with her every single day. I mean, the good days and the bad days. And so by the time she gets to fighting, you're just like, you're shaking. And it's like watching your sister or your brother out there fighting. Yeah. So it's not fun. It's fun when you win, and it's a blast. It's the highest of highs, but the lowest of lows, you know?
Yeah.
Dude, on Saturday, because I usually watch the fights with the guys that I train jiu-jitsu with. And we go to my buddy Kyle's house and we'll do like a watch along. But Jared was on the prelims. And they're blowing up the group chat. They're like, hey, man, where you at? You guys coming? And I had to watch that shit on my own.
Yeah. No, it's like that.
I can't watch it with people, man. I used to be like that with the Giants when like the Giants were good.
Yeah.
Granted,
we're good.
It's been like a decade now, right?
Yeah.
It's been a minute. But like, yo, I can't be around people. And even if they're rooting with it, like it's because like I've gotten to know a lot of fighters now, especially living out here and training at Syndicate. But like, that's my guy, you know, like he's from my hometown. The guy that got me into jiu-jitsu was his best man. Like, it's a different kind of thing. So like when he wins, like you said, we're up here. Yeah. When he loses, bro, I feel like
And the worst is when you're at the arena and you're sitting next to some jackass that's just like, just get up, or like punch him in the face. And you're just like, bro, shut up. Because, you know, you got like some sort of connection with the dude or the chick in there fighting. And you feel like you're in there with them. A part of you is.
You are.
You know, and like, especially when you're there during the training camps and stuff like that, it's like, fuck, man, I thought Jessica I got killed by Valentina. And like, I was working with Jessica, and like, That's scary, man. Like she didn't move for like 5 whole minutes,
Yeah,
bro.
no,
She was
Jessica
out
was in
cold.
trouble. Yeah.
And like, you got to remember, this isn't tennis. Like these guys aren't playing baseball. They don't just get to go home and laugh. Like they go home with some serious injuries, some brain damage for life. I mean, look at Phil Baroni. I mean, I used to be friends with Phil Baroni. And, bro, you want to talk about the ass end of a career and like going south because of, that kind of damage. It's what these fighters are up against. So, yeah, it's wild. It's not fun to watch them, when that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah, especially when it goes south. To your point, it's the same way with my Redskins. Like, I can't be around people. I don't feel comfortable because if it does go bad, like now you got to see me at like my most carnal, upset, like, you know what I mean? Really losing, flying off the handle. I get it. 100%.
Yeah, it's weird, bro. But like to your point, Mike, with it's the fight game. It's so much different. Like when you lose sometimes the way Jessica did.
Yeah.
And it's like you're a highlight.
Fuck,
forever.
Rockhold was drinking through a straw practically after the Jan Blachowicz fight, And then what just happened with Mike Perry? Got his whole jaw just jacked up like that. I mean, and yeah, you don't go home with just slight bumps and bruises, Like it's some real shit.
Bro, I got to meet Luke Rockhold at SummerSlam with you.
Oh my God.
And we were tossing back some drinks and Mike was like, yo, we're going to chill with Luke. I was like, who's Luke? He's like, Rockhold, you idiot. I was like, my bad, bro. I'm not on first name basis with him. How was I supposed to know that?
I thought you knew that I was there with him. I thought I don't know.
I had no idea. Then he was like, yo, what do you want to drink? I was like, bro, this is dope. I was like, you're one of my favorite fighters. He's just buying me drinks. I was like, Jameson. He's like, I bet. We were just tossing some cold ones back, bro.
Yeah. I've had some rages with Rockhold before. Oh, good times, but I can still feel those hangovers just thinking about it.
Just thinking about getting a twitch of you.
Yeah.
Hey man, what'd you think about because I feel like you in particular, because of who your friend is, feel like you had a close eye on that main event on Saturday.
Oh, of course. I mean, listen, you're welcome. You're welcome, Alex Pereira. Like, you're welcome. That this moment,
it's because of you.
This moment is because of me.
It's really because of you, bro.
Like you get to do this because of this guy right here. 1,000%.
You want to be a hooper.
Yeah. Man. So yes, I was keeping a really, really, really close eye on that one. I mean, I think Jamal out. So okay. Alex is that deceptive leg kick that he has. I think that is the biggest weapon that he would have against Jamal. Because his striking is very good. He's strong and obviously he's got intense power. But movement, I mean, like Yuri wasn't really doing a whole he was doing his weird angles, but he wasn't doing a lot of his changing, getting around the cage. Like he was still kind of in one
leg eaten up.
Yeah, that too. And so that would be the weapon that, and I said that earlier on my show today, that's the weapon that I would worry about for Jamal is that leg kick, because I've seen him, have leg kick situations in fights before, and it's like, all right, Jamal, you got to get this dude up out of here because starting to, I see the buckle in the leg a little bit. You starting to walk like this, and it's like, all right, you got to hurry up. But as far as skill and on the feet, yeah.
Have you taken leg kicks before?
He's kicked me before, and I don't appreciate that mess. He just does it, and it's like he's like, "Oh, bro, I'm just, just showing you." I'm like, "Look, man, stop doing that. This is not cool."
Yeah,
well, I've told the story many times. I don't know if I've told it on the pod, but when I first started grappling and doing jiu-jitsu, I asked my coach. I was like, "Yo, I watched the fight game, and like, I'm watching all these events, and I kind of have an idea of how to check a kick or like how to throw it." I was like, "Yo, how do you check
you
kicks?"
Think you do? Huh?
So he's eating, right? He gets up and he cleans off his mouth. He goes, all right, yo. He's like, throw a kick. I was like, how hard? He's like, as hard as you want. I was like, I'll go like 25. Like, dude, I'm talking about like the motion was like this.
Yeah.
Fucking shin on knee. I was like, God damn. He's like, yeah, you just got checked. I was like, I'm gonna stick to this jujitsu shit.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to get punched in the face and throw
I
no
got
kicks.
little like toothpick legs too, man. I swear to God, I get Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman for sure. Like,
snap.
Yeah, without a doubt. I like, yeah.
Yo, you've been in the fight game for a minute, and you've been following
years,
it for for so long. When did this leg kick shit really become a big part of the game.
I think when I first started, like, I mean, you can go back to like Pedro Hizzo days, like way back in the like the dark ages of the UFC, if you want to call it. I mean, it was effective then, but Crow Cop was butchering people in Pride, you know. So, I think it's always been around. You know, I don't think it really exploded. I think somebody like Jose Aldo came around and made it real popular during his fight with like Uriah Faber, where he was just butchering his legs and things like. I think there's been key fights that people be like, "Wow, that's seriously effective," you know. But like, it's always been there, and the real martial artists know about it for sure.
Bro, it seems like now.
Well, now you have to have it in your playbook, or you have to have a way to defend it.
That and also like, bro,
easier said than done though.
Two
right?
kicks into fights, you could already tell like, oh shit, his leg is done.
Especially when you're cold, man. You eat a kick cold, and you're just like, oh god, and then it's just like, oh, and you take a kick the right way. There goes your ACL, MCL, LL, whatever the fuck. All the L's are gone.
Man,
so
I ain't cut out for that shit, bro. I'll get knee passed, like knee slice on guard passes, and I feel like I got Charlie horse. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna need a second. I'm like, I can't think of these dudes.
And how old are you?
32.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, you're catching that hill. It's hard to recover. It's hard to recover. I remember when I turning 30 was different.
How old are you?
I'm 38. So.
Okay, so I just turned 39. So I'm I'm the oldest person here.
Yeah, it's different now. Trying to heal. That's why I wish I would have started when I was younger, man. Yeah. Like when you just wake up and you feel like Iron Man. And
good.
Yeah.
Yo, I only feel it when I take off.
That's very true
now,
too.
Now I'm in rhythm. I feel great. I tell my friends this because like my crew growing up, I was like one of the older kids, and like, you know, I'm 32 now, so the oldest was 33 to like 28. That's like my friend group growing up, and some of them are turning 30, and they see all the memes and shit. I was like, bro, physically, I feel amazing. What killed me though was when I took the 2 weeks off. When I went back home, I went to Colombia. I did one day. I did 2 jiu-jitsu classes. The Wednesday I was down in Medellin. I didn't do nothing else. Bro, when I came back, that's when I was like, I needed a good 2 weeks to get my body back in rhythm.
Into it,
But me doing it every day, feel great.
You do it every day.
I do jiu-jitsu. I try to do 5 classes a week. That's my goal. However I can get to 5. And then I lift in between. So I'm in the gym like 6 days a week.
You lifting too?
That's good, man.
Yeah, man. I'm doing everything, bro. And like
what's your cardio like?
Cardio is very good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I train with some of the guys at the gym, like they're black belts and brown belts and shit, I can't give them the proper look sometimes. Like they're way better than me on the ground.
Bro, you're a fish food for them. What are you talking about? Proper looks.
Yeah, look. But what I do is like I push a pace, bro. I push a pace. You trying to get a pace? Listen, I push the pace. I get that cardio going. I get that heart racing.
That's hilarious.
Come on, 1 Dais is all it takes. Yo. The Dais is 3-stripe brown belt.
This guy.
Let me tell you.
Oh, that's funny. I'm glad to hear you're training though. It gives you a whole new respect for martial arts in general. Yeah, just like you are now like more acceptable to be around fighters. It's like, it's different when you're a fan and you come around a lot of like Nick and Nate shit. If you don't train, you don't even belong around. Like that's the reason I started training, was because of Nate Diaz. He gave me a room in the gym and was like, yo, your rent's paid as long as you train twice a day. And I was like, fuck, damn it. But then, like you said, as soon as you get started, it's addicting. And then when you're training with guys like that, it's just, you feel like you're in a killer mentality and like, I'm a scrub, white belt, trash, you know? Yeah. These guys are real killers in here that are really trying to train to kill people. So that energy is infectious, but it also is like, it's like poison in your brain, you know what I'm saying?
Because you're not good enough yet.
Yeah, so but it also, you're not good enough, but it also makes you just want to just like kill and just get like better and better. And it is addicting, but yeah, I ended up getting my arm snapped in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I was in an open weight tournament. The video's online. It's pretty wild. Oh my God. Have you ever seen it? You never seen it?
No. But I know you told me that you had gotten hurt, and then that was the reason why.
That was a wrap. I was training for a year straight trying to get my blue belt under Randy Spence, who is the black belt at the Diaz Academy. The guy is a fucking savage. He's a G. And look, to get a blue belt at the Diaz Academy, you better be choking out like browns and purples at least, you know, like on a regular. They don't fuck around like when it comes to that. So I wanted my blue belt so bad. And came in second in my division during this tournament, which I was pissed off about. So then I entered the open weight tournament. And like I look around, like everybody's my size, right? And then they're like, Layzie the Savage to the mat. I get up and I'm like looking around, waiting for my opponent to come. And they're like, so-and-so. And this motherfucker comes out of the corner, like from the depths of the darkness. This big old troll motherfucker, like 230 pounds, easy, jumps up and walks to the mat. I'm like, God, and you know, can't be no bitch, especially at the Dais Academy, right? So I'm like, slap hands, let's go, bro. This guy shot a double leg on me and took me across the room. And I was like, I'm in trouble, bro. I'm in trouble. They reset us to the center and he put me in a scarf hold and I didn't even have a split second to tap. He just snapped my humerus clean in half.
Dang.
But it sounded like somebody broke a 2x4. And I just remember laying there and just being like, all I could say was, because I went from training twice a day to being in the best shape of my life, and now I'm looking at 6 months before I can even fucking wipe my own ass. Where did you? I broke the humerus. So it was right on the bicep.
This bone?
Yeah. So it snapped clean, which it didn't need surgery, which is wild. I didn't know that was even a thing. I thought that you had to get like pins and needles and all that. No, they just put that shit back together, pretty much wrapped it up, and bones mended on their own. This arm is actually stronger than my other arm now, but I'll never be able to throw a baseball again. Like not further than 25 yards. Like it's wild, and I didn't rehab it properly like I should have. And yeah, man, but it's serious injuries. That's also why I kind of stopped training, man, because I like can't afford to get injured anymore. And I was getting hurt. I'm injury prone.
I feel you. I hear you on that. That's why I kind of like whenever I train with the same 15, That's 20 smart. People all the time. Yeah. And there'll be people that'll be like, hey man, you got a partner? I'm like, nah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'll just find someone because I feel safe when I train with them. And granted, everyone I train with, bro, they're all way better than me. Yeah, like it's not like I'm picking easy rounds. Yeah. I'm going with people that I know whoop my ass.
But they're not, no one's gonna green light you. You know what I'm saying?
And also I've noticed that like the upper belts you go with, they're way safer like than the spazzy white belt or even your level.
That's known for sure.
Like, your level is the worst.
Yeah.
Because there it's like
everybody trying to muscle and spaz out, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But as far as this pay-per-view, bro, just to put a bow on it, we do got a new heavyweight champ. I put a lot of money on Aspinall.
Nice.
Yeah, I felt really good about Aspinall. Came out there and, bro, he ate a 1-2 clean where the mouthpiece almost came out in the first exchange. And I'm sitting there in the fetal position. I'm like, oh my God. I had 2 parlays pending with him. I had some straight bet money because it was, from a betting perspective, this was a really tight card. Like the biggest favorite on the main card was Saint Denis and he was like minus 180. Like everything else was
125.
Dern was like minus 160. Lopez and Sabatini was like minus 110 plus 100. The main event was a pick'em. The co-main was minus 115, minus 105. So it was a very tight card from a betting perspective.
What was the line on the Aspinall fight?
Minus 110 both ways. Kind of a pick'em. Yeah. Some late money came in on Pavlovich and I was like, fuck, man, you never want to see that like right before the card. But yeah, man, he got the job done. And that dude is that hybrid heavyweight now, bro. Like he bounces around like a 205er.
Yeah.
He bounces. He's very nimble. He's light on his feet.
Yes.
He's really good on the ground. He's great standing too. And I mean, we saw him take fucking Pavlovich's best shot and just eat it.
And Pavlovich had been just going through everyone.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, I mean, my thing, how do you feel about him versus John Jones? Because, I mean, you know, that would be obviously the next fight to make, potentially, if it's not Stipe. Did you see Stipe? Did you see, I put that on my show earlier. Did you see Stipe at the fight?
Yeah, looking 80 years old.
Man, them hips. He was walking around with Phil Jackson's hips.
Really?
Yeah, he was like trying to get around that hip.
I haven't been paying too much attention, to be honest. Like, unless it's a friend fighting and stuff like that, I haven't been watching too much. So I don't know too much about them. I know Stipe, though, I mean, shoot, he's been in the game for quite some time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't even, and what's up with John? I know he tore the pec, right?
Yeah, that's why this card got moved around like that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. How many times has John fought in like the last
since Dominic Reyes, he only had the Cyril Gane fight.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on February. It'll be 4
How many
years.
rounds was that?
One.
Bro,
it was
like 3
inside
minutes.
one. It was it was inside a minute and a half.
It was relatively quick. Yeah, it was about 2 to 3 minutes in the.
It was
first
like
round,
it was like the second exchange. He had him up against that cage, and that was it.
Damn.
Yo, let me ask you, because you'd probably be able to give us a pretty good answer. I have a take, and I could be ignorant because I'm not in the space, right? I cover it. I know some people in it, but what's the thought process behind short notice fights?
It could be a great thing, and it could be, I mean, it depends. I've seen people been like, this is the best thing. I got no time to get nervous. I got no time. Like Volkanovski said it best during this late fight against Islam, right? He's like, there's no added pressure, and athletes that train constantly all year round and stuff like that, it's almost like a jump for them. So, but then you have a shit ton of excuses, when you lose. I didn't have time to prepare for this, or I was dealing with this. I had going through a divorce, whatever. Yeah. So it's a double-edged sword. But I think for up-and-coming fighters, if you have an opportunity to take on step in and steal someone's thunder or their spotlight, that's the best case scenario,
Nate Diaz, like you said, with Conor.
As long as the money's right, yeah. Because they will try and get you. They'll try and get you to fight and get you to be a replacement and just take advantage of you, and you should know your worth. But that's where you got to kind of measure is the juice worth the squeeze? Am I being taken advantage of, or is this an actual opportunity for me to go out and seize the day? When Nate fought Conor and they were trying to negotiate with Nate, was already a fucking superstar. Like he was already that fight put him over the top, and he was on Good Morning America and shit like that. Yeah. But in the real hardcore MMA fans' eyes, that was already the man. And that's why that post-fight speech with the Michael Johnson fight was so real. You're taking everything I work for. I mean, he was real pissed. You are taking everything I work for. And it's crazy because I almost had those two hanging out. When Conor came over to the UFC, I almost tried to link them up. And there's a video online too of Conor talking about how I almost paired them up, trying to get him to come train with Nick Diaz in Vegas, and trying to, get the schedule together with those two was just not happening. So, but we barely missed each other. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden polar opposites to being but they were trying to get Nate, and they were trying to get him to fight under his Ultimate Fighter contract during that first Conor McGregor fight. And it ended up being the #1 pay-per-view for so long. And the gate on it was huge, and it was way bigger than a potential fight with Conor and Rafael dos Anjos. So,
without a doubt.
Yeah. But I think guys like Cowboy Cerrone and stuff like that, they were like, I'll fight Conor right now for free just to prove, that they're a company man or a badass, whatever. But Nate did the right thing, and he hardcore negotiated. And I think that's where you got to give him props, man. The guy's a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Were you at that fight?
The Nate and Conor? Yeah, I was.
That was my first UFC fight.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's a hell of a one to go to.
I got tickets from Conor's people, and I was so excited. And I was like, oh my God. And then I felt like the bad luck guy. So when they fought again at Madison Square Garden, he was like, you want to come? And I was like, no.
Oh, man.
No, and I didn't go.
I thought we won that fight, by the way. It was a close one.
Did you really?
I think I don't know. I'm a little biased.
Nah, bro.
I got a lot of respect for Conor. I think he's great for the sport. Like I said, there's a reason I reached out to him in the first place, because I was working for MiddleEasy.com back in the day, and I was like, yo, this kid is over in Ireland, flipping the hands up, Diaz brother style, how I'm a huge fan of that kind of thing. And I'm like, he's gonna be legit.
A big deal.
Yeah. And sure enough, he came over and he was fighting Marcus Brimage, and I was trying to get him in the circle. I was living with Rhonda at the time. So we were inviting people to come out and stay with us and train for weeks at a time, And so we tried to get Conor to do that as well. Again, almost linked up, but didn't, So
Mike has had a life.
It's sometimes
bro,
I
No
trip.
idea.
I see, man. This is dope, man.
It's a trip, bro.
Really
Imagine
dope.
being a Laker fan and Kobe Bryant is your favorite player, and then next thing you know, you're working for the Lakers and Kobe is your best friend. I mean, that shit happened to me multiple times.
That's dope, man.
I got traded a few times, different
That's all right.
teams,
That's
but
all right.
hey, I'm in the league, right? So it's all good.
Make the new fan, make sure we give the new fan base a show. That's all that matters.
I appreciate you.
Bro, I'm telling you, we'll hang out with him one time, get a couple cold ones in. He'll fucking cut promos and just he'll tell you some wild shit, man. Like
I've experienced some crazy stuff.
Do you live out here, Mike?
I'm here in Vegas. Yeah, I don't know if I'll leave again. I love it out here, man. Networking.
Bro, he's another one. You'd be like, yo, bro, you got to move out here.
Yeah,
you got to move out here.
I'm all about it. I left Vegas to go work for Ron in LA, and as soon as I was done with that, I was like, you know what? Fuck LA. I'm out of here. Like, take me back to Vegas. And because, man, I don't think you can beat this city. I'm not a fan of New York. It's too crowded. Florida's all right, I guess. But like Vegas is just where the action's at, man. Yeah. I see people that I haven't seen in years because everybody comes to Vegas, and it's not hard to link up. Now, that's also a gift and a curse because people be like, I'm in Vegas. I'm like, bro, it's Tuesday. Like, have fun.
Oh,
like,
bro. It's Tuesday for me. Can I tell you, personal experience, worst girls I've been on dates with, the ones that come to visit.
Oh, yeah, you don't date out-of-towners.
Because they want the strip and they want...
And I don't ever come down here.
And I'm here 5 days a week.
Yeah.
I don't like coming here.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying when someone comes to visit, I'm not gonna take them to fucking Henderson. They want to see Vegas.
Yeah,
they want to see the casinos and the strip and all that.
You ain't doing it right. It's all right. You still
learning.
Still youngster.
Youngster.
You got to take them to Lake Las Vegas. What you do is you say,
I take on a Fremont to see the freaks.
I'm gonna show you Nick Dais Vegas.
Let's go.
And then you take them to your spots.
Okay.
And then this is romantic. This is quiet. Like you take them to that. You take them to the show, but the show can't be every day.
Yeah.
We don't want to watch,
and bro,
Monday Night Football every
trying
day.
to date out here in Vegas, man. Shoot.
Bro. It's another thing. Like everything here is just so expensive. I mean,
exactly why you take long walks.
Shout out to
this city's
Fremont,
all about who you
bro.
know too. Though. You can make a lot of networking and connection.
Yeah.
If you play this city right, everything's a trade and a bargain.
Yes. No, that's 1,000% correct.
I'm all about that life too. So connecting and conducting is what that's what I do. So for sure.
All right, let's get into some NFL. But before we do, let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Fly Me Out. Fly Me Out scouts and curates trips to some of the world's most exciting locations. Those who join only need to purchase their slot. They take care of everything else, from logistics to activities. It's a phenomenal way to meet and network with the top achievers and innovators in various industries. Listeners of Veterans Minimum, do you legends ever feel the urge to break away and discover the world with a like-minded tribe? Let me introduce you to Fly Me Out, the premier social travel club. Imagine if LinkedIn, Airbnb, and Raya had a travel-loving baby. Whether you're looking to network with professionals on a beach or bond with creatives in the heart of a city, Fly Me Out has got you covered. Dive into the curated experiences they put together, and with their platform, it's never been easier to find your tribe and see the globe. Don't just travel, make memories with Fly Me Out. Listeners of the show, download the app, Fly Me Out, and use code VM1 for expedited application review. That is code VM1 for expedited application review. Fly Me Out. We want to thank you for being a sponsor of the show. And as always, fly me out. Get me out there, bro. Back to Colombia.
You be selling me with these ads, bro.
Where's the next spot that you want to
Dude,
go
listen,
to?
you know what's crazy, bro? My friends cut my ass because like I can't read.
Pause. Your friends what? Pause.
They cut my ass. Like they make fun of me, bro. Come on, grow up, dude. You're the older one. They'll cut my ass.
I ain't heard that one. Right,
So and then I'll do these ad reads and like one take, fresh, fire deliveries. And they're like, dude, if only people knew. I was like, I know, bro. Hey man, I tell everybody I'm pretty dumb. I just work hard and I have an unbelievable personality.
That's
there
funny.
you go.
That's my breakdown.
Where's your next trip? Talking about Fly Me Out.
I mean, I am going back home for the holidays.
No. Where's the next trip that you want to take?
Dude, you know what I really want to do, bro? I want to go to Brazil.
I was about to say, I know you want to go to Rio, don't you?
I want to go to
could
Brazil. I want to go to a soccer game. I want to
You want to train for sure.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
the roots right there, man.
Go where it all started.
Rio is dope, and I'd love to go back and actually just have time. Because when I was there, it was regimented. I'm going to fights. I'm doing stuff.
Yeah.
I want to actually go there and really experience it. But So Brazil for you?
Yeah.
What about you?
I want to go back to Japan.
Oh, excuse me, Japan.
That was the best experience. I think that and Melbourne, Australia were like two of the best places I've ever been in my life.
Man, you taking some real stands.
We did the tour with the WWE, so we were in like a new city, a new country, like every freaking other day.
Well, that's not fair.
But it's like you said, you kind of don't get to enjoy as much. But Japan was one of the nights where we had a night to go out, and I went out with like Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, Ronda and Travis, and Ruby Riott was out. I was honestly so drunk I can't even remember who else was there. And we were at a karaoke bar having the greatest time of our life. And everybody's singing. It's like Ruby Riott. I don't know if you're a pro wrestling fan. That girl can sing though. She got up and did Tracy Chapman. I'll never forget it as long as I live. And then I remember walking outside to go get a pack of smokes. And then all of a sudden I'm like, damn, I don't know where I'm at. Phone was dead. I was like, I just got lost in Japan. And then Ruby comes right out and rescues me. I was like, oh, bro. But Japan was like one of the most beautiful cities. Clean. Everybody's so respectful.
Yeah.
Like, I had such a blast that night, man.
Different vibe for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and the food. I mean,
I've definitely got to get to Japan. I got to get there. I have to see. I'm from DC, so I've known cherry blossoms, but I have to see this pink cherry blossom mountain.
Yeah.
Because like out there, you know what I mean, the cherry that's what they're indigenous to that region. So like the mountains will literally be purple and pink.
That's
millions
wild.
of trees.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have to go in the springtime.
See, I would like to go and spend like a week there in Japan now and just like actually travel around because that was a night at the arena and then a night out and then a flight out. So, and I still was like, bring me back, so.
I feel like 5 to 7 days you could, if you have an itinerary and you're doing this, because like when I went to Medellin, I was there for 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I did everything.
What do you mean you did everything? You got to
you got to put a bow on that.
Yes.
Listen,
boys,
let me get an ISO. Listen,
there you go.
I'll just say this. You don't need no blue chew down there.
You don't need no blue chew?
You don't need no blue chew down there. No soy
great.
fiesta, baby.
I believe
Let's
it.
get down with it. Let's get down with it. All right. On a serious note, NFL Week 10. Favorites were 6-1 against the spread. The overs 8-5, though primetime unders 24-7 this year. So if you just blindly bet the unders in every primetime game, 24 unders, 7 overs.
Wow.
Why do you think that's the case? If you have to think about it, like why are
you don't think that's just coincidence, man? Yeah.
I think not for I think for Thursday games it makes more sense. You have less time to prepare.
Okay.
It's maybe guys are banged up. Like
but doesn't that create an opportunity for like more like exploitations in defense and offense because of
explosions?
That?
Yeah. That's a fair take for sure. And I don't know what the right answer is, but I know when talking with Will Blackman, when I used to do a show with him, he told me, he's like, dude, I felt like I got hit by a bus. And then by the time I would get to the following Sunday, I'd feel like I got hit by like a motorcycle. Now you got me playing on Thursday. It's like your body just never recovers. That's why he's like, yo, everybody's hurt.
Yeah.
Like throughout the season, you're just never 100% again. So I think for Thursday games, it makes more sense. Maybe they played a little tighter. I don't know. But like for the rest of them, Josh, what do you think?
I mean, primetime, we've talked about it on the show. It really comes down to elite quarterback play. We don't have it. We don't have elite quarterback play. And, and really think about it, by and large, we haven't had a whole bunch of really high-level running back play. You know what I mean? Nick Chubb getting hurt. Derrick Henry kind of starting to fall back to the mean.
Yeah.
And, outside of Christian McCaffrey, there haven't been like, oh my God, this
Superstars.
Like stud running back where he's out here changing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Bijan Robinson. Is,
I think a chain, that boy was nasty.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. He's coming back, next week?
I hope so.
Yeah.
He can help the fantasy team for sure.
He's helping mine destroy Nick over here, bro. You don't even want to talk about our league, bro. This guy's in bad shape. Right after he started woofing shit, too. So
came out hot, talking mad shit. Yeah, yo, Mike, just send the Venmo.
He said, send me the money.
Send the Venmo.
Oh, yeah, just send the Venmo. I haven't won since.
The fantasy gods are real, bro. They'll get you.
Dude, the worst year ever, I was 11-0. And if you think I was talking shit now, I was.
And you lost in the finals, didn't you?
Nah, I got bounced in right off the bye week.
Oh,
right off the bye. My team most points in the league by 200 points. I scored 67 points.
That's a.
No one got hurt too. No one got hurt.
It's just
my
a bad
God.
week.
Just came out, just
ice cold.
And on my bye week.
That hurts right there.
And you know what? It made me feel better that like it was only 67 points because it's not like I scored 180 and I just had a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Like those are the worst, bro. When you run into that one guy in fantasy that puts up like 220 points and then you're the second highest scorer in the whole league, but you just so happen to play him that week. Like everybody has been through that.
Yeah.
Like that shit is whack. But 11-0, talking mad shit, Josh, and then fucking playoffs come, 67 points.
That hurts.
I've never learned my lesson though. I just be yapping, bro.
Well, I got my ex-wife into fantasy football, and I convinced her to play. She doesn't watch football at all, but I was like, "You will like this. You're a numbers chick. Like this is your jam." This girl went undefeated the entire season.
Girls always do that.
Bro, lost it. She was the waiver wire queen because she would just pay attention to all these numbers and like everything that shit. And Yahoo Sports makes it pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yahoo does a good job.
Really great job. I think that's my favorite platform as far as fantasy goes. And I've tried most of them, but yeah, she killed it. But our league, it was big on the Game of Thrones. So it was a league has no name, right? Was the name of our league. And then I was the king in the fourth, right? I had the Jon Snow. And then she was the mover of chains. So she took Daenerys Targaryen with a football, right? Holding it. And I was like, you know how that story ended, right? You know, at the end, like, and sure enough, I got her in the finals.
Let's
and
go.
she was so bitter, bro. So bitter, but she was hooked after that.
That's not a good household. That definitely hurts the household. For sure.
I mean, bro, look, if you think about it too, it's a big reason why football is so popular.
Yeah, no, it definitely
100%.
is.
The gambling, the fantasy, like, let's not get it twisted,
makes
bro.
it interesting to pay attention to a game where you typically like, I don't give a shit about the Browns, you know? Like, but if I got a player on there, I'm peeping the game. And I think that's really
drives viewership for sure.
Yeah. And I think that's cool. People always ask me, like, well, who's your favorite team? I'm like, my fantasy team. That's the only team I really care about at the end of the day. Like, I like watching certain players play and stuff like that, but fantasy is what made that, I think. So that's crazy that they used to do that shit on paper and have to like go through the newspaper and stats and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. You used to have to call in and wait for your score.
Can you imagine?
That's when I first started playing fantasy too.
Really?
That's
It
crazy.
was around that time. Yeah. I was like 11 when I first started playing. It was
Bro,
right at those.
like who hurt you, man? Like we gotta. I'm gonna get to the root of this. We're gonna get to the root of this, bro.
I could have never done that. I could have never done
bro,
that.
You've been a man since you were like 5. Like I need to know. I gotta meet mom and dad.
Bro, it's that New York City life, man. My parents treated me great.
You were never into hockey though, right?
Need more hugs.
No hockey. Bro, all I did was like watch sports growing up. That was it. That's like how I bonded with my parents. Like my whole life was always sports. And from a young age, like I've told the story many times where I got a parlay card when I was 7.
My dad used to do the same shit for me. I used to pick the teams.
My uncle was like, yo, I knew nothing about football. I grew up a soccer kid.
Yeah.
Right. And I just recently found out that I saw Michael Jordan play in person.
That's
I was fucking 4 years old. I don't remember that shit.
That's not fair.
In 95, my dad was like, yo, you know, I took you to a Knicks game to see the Bulls. I was like, when? He's like, in 95. I was like, sorry, I don't remember that shit. I was fucking 4 years old. I was like, I can't tell people that I saw Mike play. Couldn't comprehend anything.
We don't have everything captured on social media like these kids growing up. They got all the memories just captured like on social media, and they can watch their whole life growing up, you know?
Bro, like my social media
my shit's on VHS.
Is a
you know what I'm saying?
photo album of just like everything. I'll just scroll randomly and be like, oh shit, look what I was doing. And
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It just pops up. But I got a parlay card, and my uncle was like, yo, bro, pick 7 teams. I didn't know anything. I picked 4 teams. I mean, I hit the next week. He comes back, gives me money. He's like, yo, you do this every week? He's like, I'll take care of you. In my head, I'm like, oh, shit.
You're a made man.
You were a 1-for-1, your first parlay out the gate?
Yeah. 7 years old, bro.
That's
wow.
I did not know that.
I knew nothing about football, and all I did was just pick 4. I couldn't even tell you what teams they were. Came back the next week, gave me money. And ever since then, I was hooked.
Yeah, my dad used to do the same thing, rest his soul. He used to bring me a parlay sheet, and I just picked the name. And that's what got me into football pretty much, is watching it with him and having like an interest like in what was actually going on rather than just being a sports team that I was supposed to care about.
I was a nerd, and it was like literally the old school, NFL films.
Yeah.
With the music and the autumn wind for the Raider and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's what got me into football. Like I knew the history. Madden, truthfully.
Madden for sure.
Madden got me
Video
into
games
football.
will always help you get you into a sport.
Because remember the old Maddens used to have the old school teams and then they would give you a breakdown like the Iron Curtain or the Steelers and like they would give you a write up and then the Cowboys teams. And that's how I learned football was through Madden.
Yeah, video games 100%, bro. Without a doubt. Like,
yep.
That's why FIFA is like the number one sports game in the world. And there's so many dudes that like don't watch soccer, but like American people that they play FIFA.
Excuse me, FC now.
FC, yeah. Sorry.
Well, yeah, what happened? They changed it? Like
they freaking EA was like, we ain't paying that fee no more. Because FIFA wanted them to pay like, I forget what the number was. It was something stupid.
Okay.
And they were like, no, screw it.
Yeah.
And so they bounced and FIFA was like, we'll make a better game. It's like, no, you won't. Good luck.
Yeah.
We still waiting.
No one's competing with EA ever with anything.
Never.
I miss Fight Night, man. Remember Fight Night?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Fight Night round 3 was like the peak one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like the best one. I haven't played too many I haven't played any of the UFC games.
UFC games are getting pretty good though.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't played them.
Are they
I don't
easy
play them.
to play though? I mean,
apparently so. Like Jamal, he played some kid, when we went to some event and he like held his own.
Yeah.
And the kid was supposed to be pretty good. So I was asking him, he was saying like they have to do a better job of like little things in terms of actually significant strikes to energy and like kind of managing your energy differently. And this swing takes out more energy than this would.
Yeah.
Like they have to do it. He was like, that's the little stuff that that isn't realistic.
Yeah.
Mike, you said you're not a football fan, but don't you root for the Niners?
No, I mean, like I don't root for the Niners. I root for the Niners because I got half the squad on my fantasy football team, bro. I took Ayuk, I got fucking Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle all on my squad. So last week I took my L because I had all of them out.
Yeah.
So, but bro, with all 3 of those, I'm unstoppable. There's nobody that's beaten me this season. I'm telling you right now. My brother has a slim chance. Because his team, he's in first place right now. Him and I are very competitive. So the fact that he's sitting on number 1 right now really pisses me off, But, this guy's still going to make playoffs, which is wild.
Bro, listen, you can't count out the Dirty Lambs. You know what I'm saying? The Dirty Lambs
name of his
the
team,
most
bro.
iconic franchise.
The Dirty Lambs.
Bro, the Niners, though, that was impressive. Because last week's video was... And I apologize, Jaguars fans, all 23 of you. I apologize.
Oh, that's
because, the thumbnail for last week's episode and the title of the episode was, why is nobody respecting the Jaguars? And then we saw why no one's respecting the Jaguars. When they played the Niners, coming off the 3 losses, coming off the bye week. And look, man, he gets a lot of shit. Brock Purdy gets a lot of shit. But
why?
Because everyone slanders him for needing everything to be perfect for him to be effective. I'm like, bro, to that, I don't disagree. But also, what's wrong with that? Like, I think there's a lot of players in the league that need everything to be perfect. There's maybe 3 or 4 that can have a couple guys out and can still make do.
Rise above.
Yeah. And like, again, that's 3 or 4 quarterbacks in the whole league.
Quarterback always takes the blame, though. Bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. And dude, like, not to pivot too much off, but Joe Burrow and the Bengals, he's going to get credited for a loss in that game when with a minute 48, he throws an absolute dime to Tyler Boyd in the end zone and he drops it. And it's going to go down as a loss for Joe Burrow. It's Joe Burrow's fault that they lost. And it's like, bro, they score that touchdown. They're up 4 with a minute 40 left. CJ Stroud, now he got to go and kick. He can't kick a field goal. He got to go and score a touchdown. And now the whole conversation is completely different. Because I'm someone that I bet on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl before the year started.
I know.
I doubled down with them.
MVP, right?
MVP, all that. And like, I'm going to be thinking about that drop for the rest of the year as long as this continues. They got a monster game on Thursday against the Ravens. But it's crazy how that one play, CJ Stroud is MVP now. Like, it's just getting a little out of hand.
It's wild. Huh?
But it's like going back to Brock Purdy. He needs everything to be perfect. And you saw that when everything is perfect, man, they're hard to beat. And now Chase Young, your boy going over there. I know that upsets you. Can we get an ISO on Josh? Yeah, look at that. He is not. Yeah. What'd you get, a 3rd round pick?
Oh, we got the double.
Was it worse?
It was a 3rd.
Okay.
A compensatory. Yeah, I don't wish to speak on those things.
But dude, what do you think of the Niners though?
Man, listen, like you said, thank God, because I have Trevor Lawrence on my fantasy. And I was like, I don't feel good about this matchup.
No.
I'm gonna go with Jared Goff. And Trevor Lawrence proceeded to have 5 points. So,
and what's crazy is like, I like the Jaguars team, but 2 times this year they played a really good defense, and they couldn't do nothing against Kansas City, and they couldn't do nothing against San Francisco.
Yeah, they don't. They still don't really have a true identity, because remember, we were all really thumping Calvin Ridley before the season.
Mm-hmm.
I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and he has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like, who's their number one if it's not him? Yeah, they don't have DJ Chark anymore. DJ Chark's gone.
Kirk. It's probably Kirk.
It's Kirk, but like Kirk,
he's better suited as a 2.
Yeah, he's your 2 or your like high functioning slot. Like, to put all that on Christian Kirk is not fair. Travis Etienne is kind of in and out. You know what I mean? Some weeks he'll be tearing the a hole in the roof, and then other weeks you can't find him. So, and then their defense isn't elite. Their defense is solid. They play good complementary football when they're winning. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they also committed some turnovers. That killed them.
Yeah.
Lawrence had 2 interceptions, lost a fumble too. And what's crazy is that San Fran didn't score points off those. But before you know it, it's 27-3. And man, that team, bro, when they're up, they are a bitch to play. When they're winning, like, they're bad if they got to come from behind. But if they have a lead on you, Mike, fucking over. Because they could beat you in so many different ways. And even McCaffrey, which, by the way,
that hurt me not seeing him get that touchdown to break the record.
Yo, I get that, but also
that
pretty dumb.
Play call was terrible.
But pretty dumb.
In what way?
Trying to force him to score a touchdown when you know this guy is fragile.
Heck yeah.
Like, he has a history of being injury prone. And you're trying to force it.
I mean,
you're up 30, bro. Like that.
It's legendary. You're in the books for you. You then can say I'm that guy.
He's legendary already. I know. It's a tie.
Yeah.
But you have a chance to do something legendary like that, and it's either now or never. Like, why not try it? I mean, I wanted to see him get it,
I wanted to see him get it too. Like, not even.
I just didn't like the way they went about it.
Yeah.
Or that it took that long.
I just think it's, you're kind of playing with fire. There's a guy who historically always gets hurt.
Him and, like I said before, Swift, both of them. You know what I mean? The Eagles and the Niners. Either of those guys can go down at any moment.
Yeah.
And so you're playing with house money, playing them this long into the season without any bumps or bruises. McCaffrey already got hurt, to your point. He's already been hurt this year.
Yeah, he had that little
arm
pec injury.
Yeah, well, rib too, right? I thought it was his rib. Like, man, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous game. Trying to get my man's he's already done enough to help you guys win games. Like, you don't have to try and put him over. I
mean, at the end of the day, though, if it's up to him and he says, "Put me in, I want this," I'm gonna give him the ball. Like,
no, so I feel like you gotta. You know how like they say you gotta protect your fighter.
I feel you.
Only because he's been hurt before, and often. You just know with him, it's kind of like a ticking time bomb where eventually he's just gonna go down, because that's been his whole career.
His MO.
We're not being mean. We're just stating the obvious. Like, something's gonna go down, and to force it just bothered me a little bit. But from a defensive standpoint, like, dude, Chase Young, Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, like that front is crazy. Then Warner behind them. We were on a show together a couple months ago. We were doing like fake trades.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, San Fran, even though they got a dope-ass defensive line, they should go get more defensive line. He's like, nah, no way. I said Brian Burns from the Panthers.
You did.
And he was actually rumored to go there too, but
he
they
was
went with Chase because Carolina got nothing. They wanted like 3 first-round picks. And San Fran is like, all right, we want him, but not that bad, right?
We don't need him.
Yeah, I'm in the camp, bro, only because I've seen my team go through it where if I have a strength, I want to build on that shit. If I have a great offensive line, I want to keep building on that. especially if I have a guy that I know could fill in.
Like when you create a wrestler and stuff, you just like build all the attributes on one section up. Is that you? Like you just stack like all defense or like all offense as one or the other?
Kind of.
He just put all your chips on it.
As opposed to like trying to find a running back to make it work or try to find a tight end because I need a tight end. If I have the option of getting like the best player, even though he's a defensive lineman and my D-line is already stacked, it's like, bro, that's what Philly's been doing. That's what San Fran has been doing. These teams, that's why they stay good. It's like, yo, I have this dope unit. I'm going to keep building on that shit. Ravens have been drafting DBs for like a decade, bro. And now they're second. I know they lost Humphrey yesterday. He tore his Achilles, which, by the way, that shit is like, bro, is that the new ACL?
I keep saying it. This is the year of the Achilles tear.
It's wild.
Megan Rapinoe tore hers over the weekend in her final game, the championship. In the NWSL, like I can count at least 15 Achilles in the last 6 months.
Kirk, Rogers, there was a receiver that went down.
Jamal
was your fault though.
There's only so much I can do.
I just gotta get on the shit for that.
Hey, listen, you know what? It was really Derek Brunson's fault, but we ain't gonna talk about these things. Derek Brunson fell on my man's whole leg.
Oh man, that's not a guy I want falling on my leg.
I want to read something from the chat. Tristan says Burrow did throw 2 picks in the last 4 minutes. Yeah, that's true about that one.
Yeah,
and you're talking a record that would probably never be broken.
Whose record is that? Well, now he's a tie for it, but whose record is that? Is that like Barry or Jerry Rice? It's probably it's someone random.
So.
My phone's dying.
I'm not going to be able to tell
I can't
you,
even.
I don't think
try
it was
to
either
help
one of those.
I think it was like Gail Sayers. No, John Riggins.
Ooh, Redskin record. I like it. Yeah, that shouldn't fall. That's right.
See what I'm talking about?
Diesel.
Though?
That's the diesel. Warm up that diesel. That's right. No problem. I have no problems with him not.
I would have liked to see him.
Man, John Riggins getting the record. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What what does he have? 8 games? It was at 8 games?
Nah, 17 consecutive games.
He was at 16. Wasn't he 16? And then this would have been 17?
So if you don't include postseason, then yeah. With the postseason, most consecutive games with a TD, including the postseason, McCaffrey has 17.
And that would be, so realistically, he's got that shit.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah, postseason, it's still a season, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely applies.
I think it's just the consecutive part that's the most impressive. I don't give a shit if it's...
But dude, like his anytime touchdown prop was getting out of hand.
Why? Why do you say that?
Because
no money.
Because it was just slapping every time? Or
nah,
what?
it was like automatic, right?
Yeah.
But if like the nerdy analytic sports better, like it's a dumb bet to make. Like minus 290 for anytime touchdown.
Wow, that's okay. I didn't think it would be that.
That's how high it got. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like even against the Cowboys, he was like minus 240. And he scored.
Yeah.
Right. And then the week after that, minus 260. It's like, yeah, bro, you're riding a hot trend. I get it. But when it does crash and burn, you're laying close to 3 units, right? Like you're laying minus 300 to win 100. That's where it gets. It's
dicey.
the same thing. It's the same thing with like money line favorites in the NFL. I tell people like, yo, bro, you can't. Minus 400 is not a sure thing. Bro.
No, it's not.
You've seen that shit go down a lot.
Fight game too. Fight game for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I like to bet the dogs in the fight game
for
too.
sure, especially UFC. My God. Boxing, not nearly as much. I have to really feel good.
Well, there's not too many matchups that are so
dramatically different.
Yeah, exactly. So in boxing and MMA, you get people, especially on short notice fights. I'm like, oh, I know this is a juicy match because we get inside information quite often. Not mean like injuries and stuff like that, but just who has got the buzz in the gym, pretty much.
But also with MMA, completely different than boxing, is if I'm a 4-1 underdog and you're minus 600 and you're a fucking blue belt on the ground and I'm a black belt, maybe there's a clear path to victory for me as a 400, as a plus 400.
Yeah.
Whereas like in boxing, it's not.
I got to get really lucky.
There's one martial art there. Only striking.
Yeah.
And like, bro, my favorite thing to bet, I think, is UFC underdogs with a clear, like I call it, path to victory. The only way this guy could win is by a first-round knockout. If he don't get it then, he ain't winning. Because then you need a defibrillator on the stool.
Yes.
Or you got other people that they have such a big
life. That's real.
I know fighters are going through your head. You're like, yo, I know exactly the kind of fighter you're talking about.
Like, I'm in trouble. I'm in real trouble. This card is in trouble.
Yeah, you don't gotta say no names, but that's the thing where I do really well on betting on the UFC because there are some fighters that the longer the fight goes, I love backing them.
Yeah.
Especially if they're an underdog. So that's why I think it's a little different, where like there's a clear path that you can see someone get a victory.
Real.
Yeah, but then again, as soon as you think you know something about the fight game, the complete opposite shit happens. So.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time, yeah.
I want to mention a couple of things staying with the Niners game, right? Because we have this shit happen all the time, and you hear how the most heavily wagered games this week were Niners -3, and then the Bengals -6.5. One of them hit, the other one didn't.
Jesus.
So just because the public is all on one side don't mean that the public isn't going to also eat. There's also a wild year where the public has been making a lot of money. These like public teams are cashing in. Like the Cowboys yesterday, I said on the show last week, there were 17-point favorites. It was Ursulita for me. And I said, like, I got this running joke, Mike, where Ursula is the ugliest name in the world for Google in 2022.
Okay.
But one of my favorite women on the planet is Ursula Cordero from this show, Money Heist. Great girl.
Okay.
Fantastic. I'll send you her Instagram.
Real name or the name on the show?
No. Her real name is Ursula.
Okay.
So I got this thing called Ursulita. It's the ugliest game on the board, but sometimes ugly delivers. And last week for me, it was the Cowboys, -17. That's laying a big number like that in the NFL. Like, people don't like doing that, bro. That's 3 possessions. And I said, yo, they should have been a 29.5-point favorite. They won by 30 something. Like, they covered it. And the reason why I'm saying all this is because public teams, like the Cowboys, like the Packers, like the Steelers was a big loss for the sportsbooks yesterday because they covered by 0.5 point. And then you had the Niners also. But then on the flip side, you had the Ravens lose outright to Cleveland. And then you had the Texans beat the Bengals outright. And those games were heavily wagered also. So it's just because one thing is like, oh, fade the public. It's not always the case.
I still can't. I mean, that Bengals game, the Bengals lost, and then the Browns beating the Ravens.
Nick called that. Yeah. Right? Didn't she?
Yeah.
You straight up called. I thought you were full of shit, to be honest.
Yeah. And look, when he throws a pick 6 on the first drive, I wasn't feeling good about myself.
Yeah.
And then even after they go up, they're up double digits in like the fourth quarter. And then, shout out to Watson, man. He's been getting a lot of shit, and rightfully so, for just everything that's transpired the last 18 months for him. And even this year, he hasn't played well. But, Josh, second half, 14 for 14.
That's impressive.
Dude was carving him up, and that's a really good defense in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But another reason why I like that too, bro, is I talk about like situational betting, where I'll kind of always take this exact situation almost like by default. When you have a rematch of a division game and a team is close to like a touchdown underdog, especially if that team has lost the first time, it's almost always like
automatic. And why is that?
In division, the games are tighter. You play, you draft to win your division. You draft to beat the teams in your division.
Yep.
You know them better than anyone else, right? And especially if you've played them already before.
With the same coaching staff.
With the same coaching staff. And then let's factor in Watson didn't play in that first game. Remember they started that dude, like Dorian Thompson?
Was it him?
Yeah.
Or was it the other guy?
No, it wasn't PJ Walker. Shout out to the XFL, PJ Walker. But it was Dorian Thompson that started for them. And now they're playing Baltimore the second go round. And then also like, that talk of the town shit is a real thing. Everybody was dick riding Baltimore last week. Like, best team in the league. Is this the best team ever? It's like, man.
I've said from the beginning of the season, I did not trust Baltimore by any stretch. They're too, like, Lamar is too schizophrenic. Like, he'll be up 1 week, down 1 week. And then Odell never really came to fruition for them. He hasn't really been setting the world on fire because
last 2 weeks, he's been getting hot. He got 2 touchdowns.
Was those his first 2 touchdowns of the season?
Yeah, but yo, don't forget, he's coming back off the injury. New team.
It's like a year. It's like 2 years since the injury.
Yo,
the Rams won 2 years ago.
Look, I feel you, bro, but man, Mike, I was getting a little semi seeing that Odell slant. Reminded me of like the glory days of the New York Giants offense, which for 3 years, all it was a slant to Odell, and hopefully he takes it to the house. That was the whole
Break
offense.
one, Odell.
Shout out to Odell, man. Back-to-back games scoring touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Good for him. But yo, on a serious note, you're not entirely wrong. Like a lot of moving pieces on this offense. He's had guys in and out. Lamar's been playing really well, but there was a lot of like, oh, Lamar is the MVP buzz too.
Not for
Ravens' best team in the league. So I think that's a real thing where like, yo, you got to be cautious of that. Like whoever everybody is on, just
be careful.
Yeah, just pursue with caution.
Unless it's the Chiefs, because the league office is gonna get involved.
Bro, speaking of the Chiefs, like, how you feel about this Taylor Swift?
I wish I had someone that loves me like Taylor Swift loves Travis Kelce. Shit, man, I'm jealous, bro. You see that shit? She changed the lyrics to her song. Look, it's cute, right? But I get why they're doing it.
But as a Chiefs fan, or even as a teammate, you think it's a little weird that he's like going to Argentina during the season? I know they're on a bye week, but like,
no, I think.
But you know how the media is. This could get ugly if he goes out there and has like one catch against Philly.
You think they're gonna come down on?
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Yo, bro, you're not because you just know how it is." Like Tony Romo got this shit when he went on the
Cancun.
We went to Cancun with Jessica Simpson.
Yes,
Jessica Simpson, great girl. She was a gem.
That was a problem.
He went on the vacation with her, and then they played the Giants and they lost. Right, like everything is dope when you're winning. But if you're doing some shit, and you could be doing this all the time. Maybe Travis Kelce, his whole career.
Yeah, but see, he's in the spotlight. A lot of these guys are doing whatever the fuck they want, and they're not on TMZ.
Yeah.
No one's giving a shit about them, you know? So this guy is just under the microscope. So it's a little unfair, in my opinion, because he could just jump on a plane, go someplace, and he'd be under the radar. So
that is a bit of a further flight.
People need that, like, that B side of being competitive, like, sometimes, I think. So, yeah, no, I think if you need a break and you just want to go not football for a week, you know, like, and that's your bye week, that's what it should be for. So, but the Taylor Swift shit's been funny and a little over the top, but I see why. I mean, you know.
I just thank Al Michaels for saying that he's trying his best not to have to talk about it.
Yeah,
I appreciate the heck out of him for that.
What a legend Al Michaels is.
Oh, bro, a degenerate Hall of Famer, like first ballot.
I mean,
he was addressing the betting lines for us so subtly for years. Oh, that touchdown helped some people. Now this game is over. He'll say shit like that. So shout out to Al Michaels, man. One of the best to ever do it.
Oh, man, yeah.
Josh, let me ask you about a Josh. You think about what's happening in Minnesota with Josh Dobbs.
Man, listen. I mean, Mr. Alopecia is going to work.
Yo, bro, hold on. Yo.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Ready for a hot take? Right now, top 12 quarterback in the league.
That's a little strong. Wait, are you putting Sam Howell in that top 12?
Nah, no way.
Oh, you're crazy. See, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Sam Howell's not a top 12 quarterback.
So you gonna put Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. You're going to put Josh Dobbs, who had only won one game this season, above Sam Howell, who's number 2 in the league in like almost every statistical category.
Bro.
On a team that's defense has been just
You're going to have to explain yourself on that one.
Like the defense and the O-line, for sure.
Like, come on.
For sure. We were also on the show together saying how like, yo, Arizona should have a better record.
That's fair. That's fair as well. I have said that.
Again, quarterback wins and losses are not a real stat. I don't think that's fair. That's another thing that's changed for me as I've gotten older. I used to be like, yo, it's all about the rings, bro. It's all about belts and championships. And then as I got older, I'm like, yo, this shit is hard. It's hard for you to win, bro. Just, I stay healthy all year, but you're my number one weapon. You're my number one O-lineman. You guys get hurt, right? Because shit happens.
Now all the low, yeah.
And now I'm going to get blamed for the loss when that's the one thing that changed for me. And then when you look at it from the grand scheme of things, it's like, I need my owner to be competent. I need my GM to do the right thing. I need my coach to be good. Then I need everyone to stay healthy. I got to stay healthy. there's mad shit that got to go your way.
Yeah.
So are rings important? Yeah. If you want to be in those conversations like GOATs and shit, I feel like you need at least 2. Like if you get 2, in my opinion, I think it's equal to like having 4 or having 5. You have 2. Now, if you have 1, there it's like,
he got lucky that one time. 2, no,
there's
you're
a little bit of
right.
not an asterisk, that's the wrong term, but it could be debated more. But if you have 2, bro, like it's hard for you to win, dude.
You're certified.
And then the QB win-loss thing, it's crazy. Like Peyton Manning once threw 4 interceptions in a playoff game. He got to win.
Mm-hmm.
And then he threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, perfect QBR. They lost. He got a loss. Aaron Rodgers, 4 different times he's suffered an L in the playoffs, and all 4 times he either tied the game to go to overtime or he led a game-winning drive in the 4th quarter that he just left too much time on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, he didn't get a chance because he missed the fucking coin flip. Now I have a loss. It's my fault. So as I've gotten older, I feel like quarterback stats, quarterback wins, losses, it's not the be-all, end-all. It could be very misleading. Like Joe Burrow yesterday, right? And like CJ Stroud, he delivered when he had to, but he threw a rookie interception yesterday too when they got the pick back into the red zone, like right away. So I remember I live bet the Bengals and, you know, they go and they score a touchdown and then all of a sudden they got the ball again. And I'm thinking that the app glitched because red zone took it off.
Shit, yeah.
I'm like, damn, bro, this has been, the Bengals got the ball again? It's been a while since they scored. And then they're like, oh, back to Cincinnati where CJ Stroud shows that he's a rookie. I'm like, oh shit. So that's just how I feel. So I know you said with Sam Howell, right? He's first in the league right now in passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, one of the worst offensive lines in the league. You know how we know that? He's been sacked 47 times.
More than Derek Carr. Not Derek Carr, David Carr.
Only Zach Wilson has been sacked more. Sorry, it has been sacked the second most, and that's at 33. So, yeah. No, I don't think Sam Howell is a top 12 quarterback.
But you're giving it to alopecia?
That's why I said it was a hot take. I want to see like how you feel. Like,
that's
listen,
lava.
Minnesota's on a winning streak now.
Yes.
They're getting Justin Jefferson back.
Yeah. No, Minnesota's 6-4, right? I saw that and I was like, are you serious?
They're in the NFC. The NFC sucks.
When's JJ come back?
Now.
Any minute now, bro.
Yeah. Any day now.
Okay.
And like, look, right now they're 6-4. They're second in the NFC North.
I like what I saw out of the kid.
They're 7th. If the playoffs ended right now, they'd be the 7th seed. And look, man, they're a game back of your Detroit Lions.
Yeah. I look, I'll say this though. The Lions have played really well. Not only really well, but they've beaten bad teams. Like when you're a bad team for so long and then people start saying that you're good, you start smelling your own, you know what? And it gets easy to lose or fall in the trap games. They've been beating the teams that they're meant to beat and they've been beating them handily. They haven't been really getting in wars with bad teams. They've been handling their business. I was shocked when I realized that the Vikings were 6-4 yesterday. When I saw that, I was like, how the heck did that happen?
Yeah.
Because I feel like they were 1-4 or 0-3 or at one point.
That's what they were. They're on a 5-game winning streak right now.
Jeez, that's
turning it around right there.
And if you remember, to start the year, they were losing all their games by 1 score. Which we kept talking about how last year they won all their games by 1 score. That shit just flips, bro. Like you're not going to be great at 1-score games every year. Sometimes that call that don't get called in the end zone for holding is going to get called the next year. Or that PI that got called for you and then the ball's on the 1-yard line, that don't get called. That's just like the nature of the beast.
Or the Vikings versus the Chiefs game where Kirk Cousins got effed in the street, and then the guy in the end zone had PI. They threw the flag, then they picked the flag up to end the game and let the Chiefs win.
Yeah. So like that stuff happens. But in regards to the Lions, they've lost at home to Seattle. Good team-ish.
Solid.
All right.
Solid.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Top tier in their division. Right. They're right behind the Niners in terms of their division. So that's and also a good coaching staff that's been indoctrinated on that team for over a decade. So they're going to play you well. They're going to game plan well. Who's their second loss?
They lost to the Ravens where they got blown out, which we said. We said Ravens. Bet it that week. Because that's when Stephen A. Smith put Detroit as his number one team.
Yeah.
Everybody kept,
and that's the automatic.
Yeah, it's like, bro, anytime, dude. I almost always bet that spot.
Yeah.
The team that is like headlining every sports show, especially when it's not like a traditional team. Like if it's the Chiefs, I'd be like, all right. If it's Philly, I'd be like, okay, yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
But when you're starting telling me Baltimore,
and
Miami, and Detroit, like, all right, bro. Wait until they play someone good.
And again,
that's what happens.
And Nick, again, back to who are the quarterbacks in those situations. Like if you say the Chiefs, we know who Patrick Mahomes is. We know that they're going to be ready outside of something crazy happening in this game. But when you start throwing the lines out there, that's Jared Goff. We think he's getting better. He's played well, but how does he handle that kind of pressure in those situations? Right to your point.
Look, they have a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons.
They still haven't used J-Mo. Jesus Christ.
Their defense, though, is going to hurt them.
Defense has gotten hurt, though, too. They've lost some corners. They lost Gardner Johnson.
Every good offense they've played, they've given up 30 or more points.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seattle, Baltimore, Kansas City, they held them in check, but also like Kelsey didn't play, Chris Jones didn't play. Like that was just, you take Kelsey off that team, like that team is
in trouble.
Yeah, very much so. But every good team they played with a good offense, they light them up. So how good are you? I believe in that shit. I think like, yeah, you beat who's on your schedule, but I also have the right to critique it. Remember the Steelers a couple of years ago? They were like 11-0.
Yeah. My team beat them.
Yeah,
we showed the blueprint, and then they fell apart. They fell apart. They were 11-0. We were like, oh my god!
But when you looked at their schedule, it's like they beat the Panthers, they beat the Falcons, they beat the Giants, they beat all these shit teams. It's like, bro, you haven't played anybody good.
Yeah.
Then when you do, and you didn't even play anybody good, you played Washington. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's be honest. You just played Washington. I can't wait for my team to finally be decent again.
Yeah, right. So
I don't have to live with this no more. And like, dude, people just be downgrading me.
Yo, bro. And I was talking about this today at Jiu-Jitsu. My buddy Cody, he's a Steeler fan, and he brought up the 11-0 year. It's like, bro, this year too. Like Pittsburgh is 6-3. How are they 6-3, bro? They're just
Tomlin, man. Tomlin, bro.
And the defense.
Tomlin.
Because I think Kenny Pickett has six touchdown passes.
Whole season.
Yeah, I really do.
Oh my god, I like that's so funny because those two teams.
Yeah, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
That's crazy.
1,600 yards. I feel like Mahomes and like.
Do you
Burrow
expect more out of him this season?
Yeah. I think so because like they have some good weapons. Like Deontay Johnson's dope.
Calvin Austin.
Pickens, Austin. Yeah. I prefer Warren to Harris in the backfield. Everybody in Pittsburgh hates this offensive coordinator. He's like a laughingstock. They always clown on him.
Yeah, they don't like
But
him.
It seems like they play with him being so shackled. And then when they actually do let him sling, Mike, it's like, oh shit, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're worried. Like anytime you watch the Jets, you're like, yo, bro, they don't want him to throw at all. Like, that's what it looks like when Zach Wilson is throwing. And it seems like with the Steelers, it's kind of the same thing. But with them, they have a better offensive line and they have really good weapons. At least in my opinion. I think they got some good weapons.
They definitely have weapons. They have enough. Offensive line is decent too. So, yeah, I mean, you feel like they should be doing more, but Tomlin, that's all I can say.
You think that's the thing, Tomlin?
Oh, yeah, man. Listen, he's been coaching for how many years now and never had a losing record?
Yeah.
And every year I'm like, man, this could be the year. Like last year I was like, dang, he's finally going to have a losing record.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they just turn it on, get a tie, and have 500 year. And it's like, there's something to be said about that, man, because he's out there playing Moneyball in Pittsburgh. Like they don't spend money. Yeah. They have to draft well and then keep their guys in-house because dudes don't really necessarily want to go to Pittsburgh. So it's like they have to murder on their draft picks. And they've had just a decent team. And then that division has gotten better because, every other spot has a quarterback that's exciting. You go to Baltimore. Okay, I want to go play with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, for sure.
You go to, the Bengals. I want to go play beside Joe Burrow. Amari Cooper kind of, he was slung into the Browns, but like Yeah, I mean, like, you don't necessarily want to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That's no disrespect to Pittsburgh, but, that's not necessarily a spot that your Big Ben dudes were going to go play with. Kenny Pickett can't really pick it.
For sure.
Yeah, but Pittsburgh's always drafted their weapons for the most part too.
Yes, for sure.
Like they've had really good players across the board. Like they always just find, it's been the running joke for years that I say how if they draft a wide receiver, he'll play on your fantasy team at some point just because they just produce these weapons year in, year out. Like even it ended terribly for Claypool, but like at one point he was
a stud.
A legit
like we
weapon
were like,
guy.
yo, Claypool's out here getting Odell type catches.
Yeah, he was doing his thing. So yeah, that game yesterday was pretty wacky because the Packers just like, man, talk about a shitty take. I had them winning the division. LaFleur might get fired before the year ends.
Oof. I think look, Green Bay, I will say more than most teams too, and their fans, they trust their process pretty well. And LaFleur has done a good job. You kind of ride it out with the young quarterback. I think they've seen that he can be the guy as he continues to evolve. Just keep building that team. It's not, look, trust me, from a team that as a Redskin fan and seeing coaches get fired every 5 minutes, if you've got a coach that is solid and you've won with, and he's still young, it's not like he's, over the hill or his concepts don't work. Like, you ride it out. Don't just, we're going to fire him. Okay. These new dudes ain't no guarantee. So, but Mike, what do you think? What do you think about the Packers?
I mean, I haven't really been paying too much attention to them much this season, like specifically. So I couldn't really give you an honest take. Yeah, man. I'm not even sure how they're really doing this season, to be honest. Like, I don't have nobody on my squad from the Packers, so I'm like, yeah, not so much. And I haven't really been hearing too much hype around like the way they've been playing. So
it's been pretty underwhelming. A lot of expectation coming into it. They were a team that started getting a lot of buzz in the professional bettors market from a win total, them to win the Super Bowl.
Why? Because of love and
well, because like, look, Rodgers last year was not as good as he was the years before. And a lot of it had to do with, I got all these young guys around me. But now those young guys were in the system. Now it's another year with it. And maybe not having that Rodgers figure in the locker room, maybe it helps. And Jordan Love, he's a gunslinger. And he's playing like that too. He'll make some unbelievable throws. And then you're like, probably going to need a quarterback very soon. Yeah. Right? And
you think that's what you think?
Nah, I think it's just been one of those years where Watson's been in and out the lineup. Dobbs plays 4 or 5 games and then he misses some. Aaron Jones has been hobbled. He hasn't been 100%. I think a lot of it has been their defense has been an issue for them too.
That's what I think.
That's the one that's been really upsetting. But the guy I wanted to ask you about is, how do you feel about Justin Herbert?
I mean, he puts up numbers in the fantasy games for sure. I like him with the Chargers. Getting the ball to Keenan Allen, who I definitely have. We've been putting up some stats, bro. That boy has been on fire.
I mean, dude, it's really been Keenan, and that's it. Like,
but I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you got a weapon there, he's going to it. I would hate to see him not be utilized.
Williams getting hurt, I think, really hampered the season for them.
I had Mike too. I had Mike and Keenan, which was crazy because they were both producing in the beginning of the season. But yeah, he's picked up a lot more. But no, I like Herbert. I think he has the potential to get it done. I don't think there's a better option for LA. So
no, I'm not going that crazy. Like, he's definitely legit. I just think that the more I watch him, Kenny was on the show. Kenny Bets Big. We do the Monday Winners segment. He'll be on Wednesday because he couldn't make it today. Plus, I had you guys in the studio too, so it always gets wacky when you have people calling in. But he said he's a better Jay Cutler. He's a better looking Jay Cutler. Like,
what makes you say that? Because
so like, when you look at Justin Herbert, like, he has all the.
He has everything.
He checks every box that you want in your court. The size, the arm strength to make every throw.
Mobility.
Like, the arm is fucking godly. But he just does some dumb shit. Like, how are you 6'6" and you get fucking 7 passes tipped at the line every game?
I mean,
bro, like
the game is hard, bud.
I get that.
You know, you're playing the best of the best.
But something about you and then this quarterback over here gets
making it happen.
It's just
especially like a guy like Drew Brees who's throwing over people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, yo, these other quarterbacks that are not your size, they don't have their passes tipped at the
getting
line.
batted
Like,
down.
It's wild. And some of them get tipped and then they get intercepted. It's just like, it's weird, man. And at some point, it's not going to be the coach anymore. Like, the coach is going to go.
Yeah.
We know that. Like, the coach is a scapegoat.
Staley got to go.
It's been the case for like 2.5 years now. I mean, I think it was fireable after they lost that playoff game the way they did. Being up fucking 4 touchdowns at halftime and then losing. Like, that's
typical Charger fashion. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but that's like even worse than typical
See,
Charger
when I
fashion.
was a fan, I was in the Navy, so I was stationed out in San Diego during the Marty Schottenheimer days and the Danny Tomlinson.
Okay.
Like, I was a Charger fan back then, and it was hard to be a fan, bro, because we would have good seasons and just get wiped out in the playoffs. Like, it was a heartbreaking to be a Charger fan.
Chargers have always been but, as Chris Berman used to say.
I loved watching Phillip Rivers play. He was such an asshole. I loved it. I was like, man, that's the fire right there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that was a fun time to be. I think that's the last time I actually rooted for a solid team.
That's your team then, man. That's your team. You got to ride them out.
It was, I guess, but I mean, I've never been in one like city for longer than like 3 years. So Vegas is where I've considered home. I've been here off and on for like 10 years. So now I'm like, I've been to a couple Raider games this season. A lot of fun. Like, it makes you, but man, was at the Jets game last night.
Yeah.
There's seas of green there. Like, every time you go to a game, it's like, is this a home game, bro? Like, this isn't, but it was like that in San Diego too, because no one's from San Diego. Everybody just moves out there, transplants. So
that's true.
Pittsburgh, bro, we used to go to San Diego games, like Pittsburgh fans, it'd be all
towels
Pittsburgh. Everywhere. They would drain you out. It was wild. So I feel like Vegas kind of has that vibe.
Yeah.
Too,
but yo, if you think about it, right? Vegas is such a dope city.
It's amazing.
So if I lived in New York, right, I'll use myself as an example. Giants played here. I went to the Giant game last week. Nightmare.
You're gonna make the Vegas game.
Yeah, if I'm gonna look at the
100%.
schedule and I'm going to the boys, I'm like, yo, bro, let's go to a road game this year.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Minnesota.
Fuck no, you're
in
not.
fucking December. I'm not picking Chicago in November.
That's just the American fan. I'm the guy that's doing that. That's
if you are. Listen, bro. If you want to go,
I understand that too, though, because I could be down with the boys for something. But Vegas is we're from here, so I get it. But I think
definitely a better option.
How long have you been in Vegas?
14 years.
Okay. Until I moved here, I only came to visit Vegas, right? So I'm born and raised New York City.
Yeah.
Winters suck. I'm not going from cold to more cold.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm looking at the schedule, and to your point about how you saw a lot of Jet fans, I saw a lot of Giant fans last week. When I went to the Steeler game, saw a ton of Steeler fans. Dude, I didn't even want to bet the Raiders-Steeler game until I went there. I was with my buddy Danny, who came to visit. He's a Steeler fan. I'm like, bro,
feels like a home game.
What's the line? Why is it a 3-point line? It's a Steeler home game. So we bet the Steelers. They end up winning, right? But I think it's unfair to the Raiders and Raider fans and like, oh, you guys have no home field. It's like, bro, if I'm looking at the schedule and I want to go to a dope game, I'm going to go to Vegas to watch my team play. And that's what I think happens. Like, people might plan their bachelor party around it and then like, yo, bro, we'll end our trip going to the game to see our team.
That's cool.
Whether it's good or bad, it's still going to be Vegas. I don't want to go see the Giants play in Indy in December when they're 2-12.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. The team sucks. The Colts probably suck. Like, it's not going to be, at least here, it's like,
to do there. You know?
At least here,
at
least here, if the Giants are 2-14, the Raiders are 3-13.
You can go to the Rhino and have yourself a great time.
It was a great trip. Remember that Vegas trip we went to see the Giants?
It's still Vegas.
That's fair.
You know? So that's
fair.
how I think it gets misinterpreted. The home field.
It just sucks. I feel like it takes the environment out of
1,000%.
Man, I want to go see fights in Ireland, right? Because that fucking fan base is insane. Like in the UK and like even the pro wrestling fans over there. I got a chance to taste a little bit of it and it was incredible. Man, it's way, way different than what we have here. And it's way more fun. And I don't know, it creates just a weird energy in the like.
No, it does.
People talking shit to a lot. I mean, that's why there's so many fights at these games too.
Yeah.
I feel like too, you got so many. It's not like a camaraderie between the whole arena.
Yeah,
it's almost like,
it's
but at the same
Hunger
time,
Games.
it's almost in a way, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. But being there last night, we had Jets fan behind us talking shit the whole time, bro.
Yeah.
And it's and I understand like funny chit chat, banter, whatever, and stuff like that. But if you're just being a drunk, obnoxious clown behind me, like.
We got problems.
Yeah, and that was half the arena, man.
Yeah,
y'all New Yorkers are wild.
I will say the one thing about Vegas though. Vegas is a very front running town.
Oh, 100%.
This isn't a very loyal town. And
except
the Raiders,
for the Knights.
I
think the Knights. People will bleed.
They were right. Like, look. So 2 years ago, when they got of course. But 2 years ago, when they started to drop back down, they didn't make it to a conference finals, and people started burning their jerseys. It's a very disloyal town.
Oh, I didn't see any of that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. What I've seen happen in this city with the Vegas Golden Knights is unlike anything I've ever seen in with any other sports team in a city. I mean, you talk about Vegas being a hockey town. You told me that. 7 years ago, get fucked. Not a chance. Like it's a waste of money. I'd be like, don't bring that here. It's gonna be, and for an expansion team to come in and then have the tragedy happen in Vegas the way it did, and then for the team to just kind of
rally around
it rallied around it. You would see people in the liquor store and they're wearing Golden Knights, man. It was like wearing an NWO shirt. You're like, fucking too sweet, brother. Like it created that. So I feel like that really brought this city together in a way where like. And the Raiders don't have that here.
Yeah. But see, it's back to them being a front running town. I think if they do start to win, like, okay, so say they would have made the trade that I wanted them to make last year at the draft and got Anthony Richardson and had the quarterback in place for the next 5 to 10 years.
Sure.
Once they get that guy and they actually can put their chips behind that guy and he's everywhere around town and people are kind of buying in, if he plays well, granted he is in a division where it's going to be a tough sledding for a little bit, but if he does play well, I feel like the city will gravitate towards the Raiders more.
But do you see a Raider fan base here in Vegas being like a Philadelphia Eagles fan base where it's just a sea of green and fucking good luck wearing any other color in there? I love Philly's fan base, man. Like I think I'm all about that sports fanatic like style.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're gonna have that here in Vegas because it is a vacation town.
That's very true.
So. I think everything you guys are saying, I agree with. To add more to the Vegas Golden Knights thing, they are actually Vegas's team.
Exactly.
Team. Yeah.
So, dude, I remember I might have been here, and someone came to record at the studio, and like someone from his crew had a Knights tattoo. And as a joke, I was like, bro, you got a tattoo of the Knights already? Like, they just got here. Like, what the fuck?
But that Vegas born, bro. It's a real thing.
Like, bro, I'm 35 years old. I never had a sports
My
team.
daughter's born in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? That's Vegas born. That means something.
It means something. And that's what he told me. And I was like, yo, you know what? Now I get it. And he was like, look, the A's are coming. They're not. They're Oakland.
Yeah.
Don't give a
the
shit.
Raiders came here. That's Oakland.
Oakland, LA.
But this is the Knights. This is Vegas's team. And I was like, yo, you know what, man? I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it.
The NBA team coming.
It'll be their team.
We'll see.
If it starts from scratch, it'll be a Vegas team.
Yeah, it's going to be an expansion team, so that'll be an interesting take.
I mean, talk about the Aces too. Even the women's NBA team. I mean, there's people taking pride in the Aces.
Yes,
they do.
It's a Vegas team through and through.
So
it wasn't a
it's there, but I just don't think the Raiders are going to have that.
Okay,
no, I agree with you.
That's fair.
Bro, the Raiders are also like a historic.
Yeah, the Raiders.
So they're going to have fans all over the world anyway.
Yes.
They're never going to like not have fans, but just here in Vegas, it's never going to be that Philly type environment. So no matter who they get or no matter how great the team is.
I want to end the conversation with CJ Stroud because we kind of touched on it a little
last
bit,
week,
but we didn't really like dive into it too much. I think it's crazy to put him in the MVP.
Yeah, 1000%.
I think if you're betting on it now, you're just riding the wave that I don't think is.
All right, who's his competitors then?
Well, so the main competitor, truthfully, is just that he's a rookie quarterback, and by the time December hits, he's going to be zonked.
He's got a lot to prove. There's a long road ahead of him, no doubt. But I think the way he's performing right now and what he's doing with that team is massively impressive.
Oh, without a doubt.
For sure.
Like, without a doubt.
That's unquestioned.
Yeah.
That's unquestioned.
So I don't think that he should be too far back out of that conversation. I just still think there's a lot of football left to play, and he's got some grounds to cover.
Right now, the favorites, Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar, Tua, Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, and then him.
That's fair. I feel like that's fair.
I can't complain about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Josh Allen before McCaffrey. Sorry. Josh Allen is on that list too. Which I also
that doesn't
don't
make
agree.
sense. Yeah,
that's kind of why I forgot to mention it.
Hey, you're talking about my starting quarterback here, but easy. That kid has been producing for me too, man. So
just not in real life.
Shit. Yeah, fair.
Look,
when you say it like, that's why playing fantasy is just like so much different, man.
And look, CJ Stroud, right? His last 2 games, close to 900 yards passing.
Oh, he killed me.
6 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah,
right?
that's good stuff.
And
he put up like 52 points in our league.
Yeah, he went nuts against Tampa. He set the records too. Now, I just think that you gotta kind of try to, like with betting, right? You have to. I'll give you an example for this week. This week, the Chiefs are playing the Eagles, the 2 front runners for MVP. Chances are it's a primetime game. It's Monday Night Football. Whoever wins that game, guarantee you their odds are going to be cut in half. Just because it's the perception. It's Monday Night Football. It's the 2 MVP candidates. The winner of that, it's going to just be cut in half.
Yeah.
So I would bet on one of them 2 before this week.
Yes.
So whoever you think is going to win, say you think Kansas City's going to win, bet Mahomes to win MVP now.
Yeah.
Another example, also staying with this week, because we got some banger football games this week. Thursday Night Football, Bengals and the Ravens. Do the same thing.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that game, probably you're going to see their odds go. Like if Burrow comes out and throws 4 touchdowns, people are going to be like, oh, bro, they would have won that last game if Tyler Boyd would have caught the pass, and now we're thinking of it completely different. Yeah. Or if Lamar goes out there and throws 3 touchdowns and runs for 1 in. So sometimes you got to bet these spots beforehand.
Yeah.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Because then after, it's like, yeah, bro, of course you want to bet on Mahomes now. We just saw him throw 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The cool thing is to bet, when I bet Burrow before they played the Niners at 30-1. And then they beat the Niners, they beat the Bills, and now all of a sudden, prior to yesterday, they were 12-1. You're like, oh, bro, I'm holding 30-1. I feel like no blue chew is needed. You know what I'm saying? If I was to bet it after Buffalo, you'd be like, yo, bro, we just saw him light it up. It's not as impressive. So sometimes with betting, you got to kind of make that read, and it's not always going to work out well.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of steps that you got to take when you're looking at like the betting markets. And with CJ Stroud now, like, is what we're seeing.
What's he at right now then?
40-1.
I mean, how do you not get on that right now then?
Some places 25-1. That's why you got to shop the lines also.
It would have been good to catch them 3 weeks ago when they were just.
But you didn't have a clue 3 weeks ago, right? So
not even prior to this weekend, he was 100-1.
Ooh,
per the MGM.
That was the spot.
So like, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it's like now saying it. Now you have every show this week. Dude, I made him the thumbnail. CJ Stroud is on the thumbnail, right? Like everybody's talking about him.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's not.
It's a fun story.
Yeah, of course, dude. And also like you look at the Texans, they've been laughed at all these years. And kind of like they had the Watson fallout and you're like, fuck, how are they going to find another quarterback? And then they find one and you got D'Amico Ryans, coach of the year. I think like you could put D'Amico on the trophy already.
For sure.
Like that guy used to play for the Texans. Now he's coaching them, changed the whole culture. And like he's doing it with no one's really. Like these guys are all young guys that he's doing with. And also like ISO, please, if I can. You can't talk about bad offensive lines anymore. Because he has a bad offensive line and he's killing. So like as a Giants fan, and it pains me, it's like, bro, like sometimes a quarterback can negate that a little bit. If you know you have a shit offensive line, maybe not 7-step dropbacks.
We getting this ball out.
Yeah, get this shit out right away. And like, bro, I'm watching the Texans. When they beat the Steelers, which was the first time that I was like, oh, there might be something down in Houston. Like, it was like week 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. And, dude, he had 4 new starters on the O-line. And they beat Pittsburgh. Like, TJ Watt was non-existent. Shit offensive line. And then you see this kid is lighting it up with a bad offensive line. You're like, yo, bro. I'm not saying the offensive line is not important, but We got to maybe.
You're not saying. You're just saying.
I'm just saying that
you.
in the event that we're like, oh man, they lost because they have a bad offensive line. I think we could stop using that excuse, bro. As I'm talking to a Washington fan.
I mean, he's not Sam Howell. He's not Sam Howell.
He's better. Come on, bro. You can't even say. Don't even. I'm not gonna invite you back if you try to pull that stunt.
Hey, listen. That's all right. It's all right. You're gonna stop besmirching.
Nah, yo, look. Honestly, Sam Howell, I'm impressed.
Yeah, going straight. He's a 5th round pick. Everybody's a 5th round pick. You know,
he's playing well.
2 minutes ago, that man was gonna go in the 1st round.
He's getting hit every time he drops back. The offensive line is really bad.
I haven't seen him limp yet.
That's impressive.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do a Patreon roll call, and then we're going to pick the names out of this bucket that I have over here for the Patreon winners for the sneakers last week. But big ups to the members of the Patreon. It's patreon.com. As you guys can see on the screen right now, we have a $1, $5, $10, $20, and $40 tier. Depending on what tier you enter, you get certain perks and incentives. $5 tier, you get all the betting picks. You get access to the Discord. The Discord is $5. The betting picks are $5. That comes out, Josh, to about 16 cents a day. We know how people be spending their money. They spend it on way worse. So like
1,000% worse.
$5 a month to support the show, support the brand, support the boy. And we know some of you guys spend money way worse. But it's patreon.com/veterans minimum. Big ups to the members. Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Wozniak, Mike Stevens, Nick Crummich, and Thomas Robinson. Patreon.com/veterans minimum. Okay. I've had to do this for a while. I keep forgetting. Josh is going to pick a name out the hat. We got a bucket over here, right?
All right.
That's one of the sneakers. You read the names.
Looking. All right. Let's see.
What do we got? Pair of Griffies, bro. Pair of Griffies, right? Not bad.
Okay.
Lyndon Shin.
Lyndon Shin. Okay. Shout out to Lyndon Shin. And then who's the other sneaker? Lyndon, I'm going to need you to
look like.
I'm going to need you to DM me what your size is.
Right.
We could get you the sneaker.
Next one, I feel like Vanna White. The next one is Ryan Piz.
Ryan Piz, Bills Mafia's very own. My guy, Ryan Piz, man. He's been a member of the Patreon for a long time. Used to be in the Twitch streams too. And he's been going through it because, like, you know, Bills, kind of a roller coaster. I know I've been slandering your boy. That's your QB, Mike. Mike, that's your QB, man. I get it. But yo, truthfully,
and my 2nd round pick. Don't forget that too. And bro, I caught a lot of shit for that, but you know, I'm sticking with it.
Get it. Hey man, I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, bro. It's
I
long
appreciate
overdue.
you coming on the show. Finally, we made it happen. I meant every word I said in the beginning that you were a piece of shit for waiting this long. But you know what? That's how I address my friends. If I don't insult you, then
We're not really
don't
friends.
call me in the morning and be like, hey, man, I'm on the side of the road. Because I ain't going to answer.
Dang.
That's just how I am.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying?
New
Mike,
Yorker in him.
that's that queen shit, baby. Tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Instagram.com, Layzie The Savage. I mean, that's it. But I'm low key. I'm almost retired at this point, man. Unless you want to see baby pictures and shit like that, or my golf swing, the golf swing, or some funny shit with DC. I've been playing a lot of golf with him and stuff like that. But yeah, Layzie The Savage, LAYZIE The Savage. So come holler at me,
Josh.
The American Fan 365, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Google. I think I'm a couple different places. Definitely come check in what's there. We've got some big interviews coming up, so excited for that. I got Dr. J coming up. Nick. Yeah. It was supposed to be today, you know what I mean? But you know, I'm not gonna put no business in the street. But yeah.
As he put the business in the street.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know,
kind of.
Try snitch, you know, just not a full blown,
right
not a
there,
full blown, you know. You gotta put it out there. So, but yeah, got some things coming up. So excited.
Dope, man. Hopefully I'll come on your show too at some point.
You got to get you back
Make
on
that happen.
Mondays. You know what I mean? Mondays.
Oh, Mondays are rough. I know. We went over this.
That's it.
I got a Dais at that time, Mike. You know what I'm saying? Gotta hit that little.
I gotta come train with you,
that
bro.
little front headlock, bro. That's all you gotta
come
worry
train.
about. One trick pony, but that pony is a stallion.
You know what's funny is like when I first started training, that was my favorite shit too. The Dais and hit the anaconda roll, and like that was my. So it's funny that you said that because I could totally see you just falling in love with that choke. But I'm happy. I'm proud of you, man. That you're
Thanks,
training,
bro.
and I can see it, bro. You're fucking. You're slimming down and getting pretty big too, like in a good way. So
198, baby.
Yeah.
198.
Yep. Come hit a mountain run with me, bro.
No way.
Nope.
Fuck running. I ain't running.
Not at all. Enjoy
Bro,
yourself.
I was doing like 7 miles a day, hitting 7-minute miles and shit. And
You're a bad man.
Yeah.
You could time me with a freaking map. Not a map, a calendar at this point on a mile.
Yeah.
Bad news.
Bro, running.
That's Nick Diaz got me into that, man. I remember the first time he took me, I thought I was going to die. I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks after that. He took me on an 8-mile run. And I was like,
They probably do that shit every day, right?
oh, it's crazy. But it's so much psychology. We'll talk about it another time. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely having you back on, man.
Yeah.
At Nick Dais 10 is where you could find me. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison.
Dab. Most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.